Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're totally demystifying the magic inside your computer. We're going to break down the absolute fundamentals of hardware, software, and how they seamlessly work together. So whether you're studying for a class or you just kind of want to understand that machine sitting right in front of you, you are in the exact right place. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so think about this for a second. When you press a button and your screen suddenly lights up, what's actually pulling the strings to make your computer think and act? I mean, it feels like pure magic, doesn't it? But it's actually this incredibly coordinated dance between two completely different realms. Here's our quick roadmap for today. First up, the parts you touch. 2, the invisible instructions. 3, hardware versus software. 4, how they actually work together. And 5, some real-world tech examples. All right, section 1, the parts you touch. Let's talk computer hardware. So hardware is, well, exactly what it sounds like. It's made up of the tangible, manufactured components that you can physically touch. My absolute favorite rule of thumb is basically this. If you can drop it on your foot and it hurts, yeah, that's hardware. This includes the monitor you're looking at right now, the keyboard under your fingers, and all those crazy complex circuit boards hiding inside the computer case. Now, it's pretty wild, but every single physical piece of your computer falls into one of 4 distinct categories. First, you've got input devices, like your mouse and keyboard, that literally let you enter data into the machine. Then, output devices, like monitors and printers, to spit those results back out to you. Third, storage devices, like hard drives and USBs, so you can actually save your homework. And finally, the internal components. These are things like your CPU, the central processing unit, and your RAM, which essentially act as the engine processing all that raw data. And here's something really cool to think about. Your everyday, tangible devices, your phone, your laptop, they basically act as physical gateways to vast, untouchable networks that we call the cloud. But, remember this. Even when you save a file to Google Drive or Dropbox, it eventually lands on a physical piece of hardware. It's just sitting on a massive server in a giant warehouse somewhere else in the world. Moving right along to section 2, the invisible instructions. Let's dive into computer software. Okay, so if hardware is the physical body, software is absolutely the mind. It's the engineered, intangible code that gives your computer its purpose and direction. You literally cannot touch software, hold it, or drop it on your foot. It consists entirely of digital instructions written in computer languages by programmers. Essentially, software acts as the ultimate boss, telling the hardware exactly what tasks to execute and exactly when to do them. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding the split within software itself. On one side, we have system software. Think of operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. This is basically the manager. It directly manages the hardware components and keeps the whole system humming along. On the flip side, we have application software. Stuff like Microsoft Word, Google Chrome, or Photoshop. These are the highly specific tools that you use to actually get your assignments done or watch videos online. And this application software, it runs right on top of the system software. Up next, section 3, hardware versus software. It's time for the great divide. When we put these two side by side, the contrast is just undeniable. Hardware is manufactured in big factories using electronics and plastics, right? But software, it is engineered by someone typing lines of code. Hardware is going to wear out and gather dust over time. Software doesn't wear out at all, though it can definitely contain bugs. Actually, fun fact, the term bug became super popular when a real physical moth got stuck in an early computer's hardware. And here's a huge difference. If hardware breaks, you have to go buy a brand new physical part. But if software breaks, you literally just reinstall a fresh backup copy. Easy as that. All right, section 4, how they work together. Let's look at the execution process. So here is the absolutely incredible translation process that happens in mere milliseconds every single time you use a computer. Step 1, human input. You click a button or type a word. Step 2, interpretation. The application software takes your human-readable command and translates it perfectly into machine-level language, ones and zeros. And finally, step 3, execution. The hardware receives those ones and zeros and physically processes the task, instantly lighting up specific pixels on your screen. It is lightning fast. And finally, section 5, real-world examples. Let's see this tech in action. Let's bring this back to something relatable, like doing your homework. When you type out an essay, Microsoft Word, which is your application software, is capturing the physical keystrokes from your keyboard, your hardware. Or consider using Excel. When you type an equals sign and use something like a VLOOKUP formula to sort data, that software is actively issuing complex mathematical orders. And to execute those orders, it demands immediate processing power from your computer's CPU, the internal hardware. And hey, if an app ever freezes up on you, you use a system software tool called Task Manager to step in and forcefully stop that program from totally overloading your physical RAM and CPU.
So what does this all mean? Well, it all boils down to an absolute unbreakable symbiosis. They're fundamentally distinct entities. I mean, one is a physical object built in a factory, and the other is just an invisible set of instructions typed on a screen. But the kicker is, neither can do a single useful thing without the other. Their interdependencies completely drive the entire execution of your system.
So we've established that software acts as the brain, giving the commands, and hardware is the body just faithfully following those orders. But remember this, humans write the software, and humans build the hardware. So who is truly in control of your digital world? Something to keep in mind the next time you fire up your laptop. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.